Step for the Pledge of Allegiance and invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing. Oh God, we ask for your grace and presence tonight, that you be with this council as we take up the matters of our city. Give us the guidance and wisdom to make sound decisions that will affect us not only today, but in the future. We ask that you place your hands on those that are serving us here and abroad, both foreign and domestic, that you be with them and their families as they struggle to keep us safe. We ask all this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Bill. I need a motion this evening. We have two councilmen not in attendance, Councilman Gelser and Councilwoman Loretano. So could I have a motion, please, to excuse them?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
I heard a motion from Councilman Stiff and a second from Councilman Campbell. So all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. We're going to change this. Is this on? Can you hear me? Yes, it's on. All right. We're going to change the schedule around a little bit in communications, and we're going to start tonight with an update item on the marketing and community outreach the city has done in preparation of the change in service from twice a month bulk pickup to once a month. Jerry Postima will present. Jerry?
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Pleased tonight to give you an update on the bulk item collection. What we've done is switch the program from twice a month to once a month. The new service schedule became effective today, October 1st. The bulk items are being collected once per month. This is in response to a 2012 citizen survey that noted 85% of the respondents wanted to use bulk trash service once a month or less. 78%, when asked the question, would you pay more for the service to keep it at a level of twice per month or go to once a month, 78% responded to go to once a month. The first communication occurred in July. We had flyers printed. They were made available to residents at City Hall and Public Works for walk-in. Also, we had an article in the In Focus. There was a city website Hot Topics link that also demonstrated what the new program was going to look like. And then there was personal contact made by staff with the HOAs. In August, the communication continued and we increased it. There were HOA meetings and neighborhood association meetings. Staff attended. There was community outreach. Channel 22 in Pebble Creek showed the advertisement on the upper right in the collage there, basically showing what the new program was. Also, Estrella did a tweet. The city website contained the interactive address that was demonstrated to council back in July. News release was done. Container decals started to be adhered to the containers. The utility bill inserts and the electronic bills contained the information that was in the flyer. And then there was additional personal contact made out in the field. In September, we really geared up. The In Focus printed another article. There was the city website under Hot Topics once again. The container decals were completed in September. The utility bill inserts and the electronic bills were also completed in September. There was an article in the West Valley View. The social media the city has, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter accounts, gave examples of how to use the service, the interactive addressing, and what the program was going to look like. The Works, which is a Public Works e-newsletter and has approximately 100 subscribers, contained an article on the program. There was an email blast done to all the residents that we had email addresses for, and also to the HOAs and neighborhood associations, which we had addresses for. A telephone message went out on Saturday, called every house that we had account information on. There were HOA neighborhood meetings, and then we had an outreach to Mobile. There's a letter going to each of the residents in Mobile, as well as the school. The school has a flyer. They posted on their bulletin board and sent home with each of the students. Ongoing communications, we intend to keep this going as long as we need to. We understand that we have some seasonal residents, so we're going to continue to advertise on the city website. We're going to make personal contact in the field with our inspectors. If any containers do not have a sticker, they will put one on there. They will also try to make contact with the resident, give them the flyer, and keep them under the, educate them on the new process. The social media will continue to give updates. Neighborhood and community outreach will continue to attend the HOA meetings, neighborhood association meetings, and give presentations. And then whenever there's a new container delivery by Waste Management, or if there's a replacement container delivery by Waste Management, they've been given stickers. They will adhere those to the container when they drop them off, and they will also adhere a flyer to the container. So that's how we plan on continuing this, this informational process. At this point, I'd be happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Questions, council? You can see what a good job you did. There are no questions. I think that might be good just to mention that I know that that people can get on the website and put their address in. Isn't that correct? And it tells what pickup days are. So it really makes it that much easier because of that small tool. So
Yeah, excellent tool developed in partnership with our engineering department, our communications department, ITS department, finance, the customer service group. It was integral in making this all happen.
that's great. Thank you very much, and please thank staff because they did a great job. Don't you?
Yes.
Listen, I want to hear from council because this is a subject out in the community that gets talked about all the time, and so I think that the staff needs to be complimented on, how thorough they've been this year.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Councilman Vazzillo?
One of the things I really liked is when you go into the webpage, I guess at the very beginning, it's my understanding under Hot Topics, it links to the specific article in which you can pull up your address, because I checked it myself, put my number in. All you have to do is put your number in, and it'll give you all the selection of all the streets that match up with that specific number. You pick your address. You don't even have to write the whole thing in, and it tells you, what your date is and when the pickup is. So from a technology standpoint, I think that's fantastic. And I appreciate all of the outreach, because I remember last time we had some issues with I don't know how you would not know that this is changing October, especially the other day when I wheeled out my garbage can. There's a sticker on it that says, please contact, for any information. So I appreciate the effort so we can get this thing going through smoothly, and thank all staff, everybody who's had something to do with this. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, great. Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you.
All right, now we're going back to the first item on the agenda, and that's recognizing the Millennium High School Future Farmers of America for their achievements. Matthew Lingori will present. Matthew?
I think they're still waiting.
Oh, all right. I see him
There's
in the
Rob.
hallway there. We're always pleased. We're waiting for students again, but I always am pleased when we can do some recognition of our young people out there who are being really good citizens. So, Matthew, are you ready?
Wait just like 2 more minutes.
All right. Well, we have a very patient audience this evening. They've waited several times, so we're going to ask you for one more moment of this.
I apologize.
That's fine. We'll just. I don't need to.
Well,
go
at
on
least
a
I don't
pause.
think it's 32 kids. I think it's one from each team, so that's helpful.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't say 32, but
No,
yeah,
you
okay.
didn't, but that would have been a lot to
So
beat.
there are 30. Well, Joanne, since we're having a little delay here, how would you like to fill in the space with a little information for these
You know
people?
what? Why don't I go ahead and just announce the 32 kids that are going to be recognized. Matt's going to give a presentation on the Millennium High School FFA, Future Farmers of America. But quite frankly, there's about 32 high school children that are going to be flying, I believe, the 22nd of October to represent the state of Arizona in the nationals in Indiana. Millennium, quite frankly, really swept quite a few of the competitions for the state. And in forestry, we have Maggie Von Dopp, Wyatt Carpenter, Mike Schmock, Monique Vermillion. In livestock evaluation, we have Josh Fisher, Bailey Mahan, Austin Smith, Summer Miller. Parliamentary procedure, we have Katrina Matos, Lily Webb, Carly Lonchar, Jordan Parks, Mallory Mejia, Eric Colesrud. In dairy evaluation, we have Lacey Peterson, Joey Handley, Megan Rifkold, Mariah Jacobs. In conduct of meetings, we have Leah Tiem, Nicole Peach, I can't say a lot of these names, Connor Russell, Hannah Eichmann, Angel Lowry, Thomas Peterson, Emily Runyon. And agriculture issues, we have Brittany Mixer, Auburn Osborne, Allie Schindler, Jeffrey Tingham, Zaid Ramirez, Andalyn Duke, and Jenna Walls. All of these kids, I think there's about a group of 55 people that will be going to Indiana to represent FFA at Millennium. And I mean, you know, agriculture is one of those industries that you don't always think about. It's kind of a given. We eat, you know, we sleep, and you don't always think about the industry itself. And what's interesting is just recently I attended a conference on sustainability, and that word sustainability is really kind of used a little too much. Hey, look who's coming in the door. All right. I'll stop now.
All right, great. Matthew, you have the floor.
Mayor Lord, Vice Mayor Osborne, and Council. I'm not sure what I missed just now, but to give you a brief rundown, I'm happy to stand here before you today to recognize the achievements of the Millennium High School Future Farmers of America Club. This extraordinary group of young people has done an outstanding job of representing not only the Millennium High School community, but the entire Goodyear community over the past year when they've been competing in their events. In this past spring, Millennium High School took part in the statewide Future Farmers of America competition, where they were successful in winning 6 state competitions, which is very, very impressive. These victories qualified them for the Future Farmers of America national competition, which will be taking place at the end of October in Indianapolis, Indiana. Millennium High School will be representing Arizona in 6 categories: forestry, livestock evaluation, dairy evaluation, conduct of meetings, agricultural issues, and parliamentary procedure. A delegation of 55 will be traveling to Indianapolis for the competition, with 32 students competing. In addition to the competitions, the students will, and the entire group will be participating in community service events, business and industry tours, a variety of leadership events, and they'll just be learning more about the whole Future Farmers of America organization. The FFA gathering is one of the biggest conventions in the world, with more than 60,000 members attending. The achievements of the group have helped Millennium High School FFA program earn a Gold Star rating here in Arizona and a coveted 1-star chapter rating at the national level. With that, I would like to turn it back over to Vice Mayor Osborne to formally recognize these outstanding members of our community and wish them luck on their upcoming competition.
Thank you. Well, I beat a little bit. Actually, I had stated all the names on the 6 teams, but I would really like to also recognize Mrs. Gage and Mr. Stevens. Are they here? I thought I saw Mrs. Gage.
What?
And Mr. Stevens.
Yeah, have him come up.
Please come up.
Please come up to the front.
You always know that behind some children are some adults that really are doing wonderful things. And I really thank you for being a part of these kids' lives. But as you were coming in, I was giving my lecture on sustainability. And actually, sustainability really is about common sense, and it's about forging our future. And you guys are part of it. You are part of the future, and you are in an industry that helps us live and survive, and so that is sustainable. So congratulations to all of you. And I said all your teammates' names, and so everybody was recognized. And I know that you're going to go to Indiana and rock their world, right? And let them know that Arizona have farmer leaders. And I would like, actually, the council to be able to take a picture with them and take our message back to all your teams that we really appreciate what you're doing, and we wish you the best of luck.
Well, we're happy to do that. And before we come down there, I want to give the rest of council an opportunity to say something. But can we get the names of the individuals that are actually standing before us today? So if one of their leaders could come up and introduce, I really would appreciate it. Oh, she says me. I've got it right behind the microphone. Okay,
Just
be
use
sure
the
you're on the
mic.
microphone. I appreciate that.
Just step up and say your
You
name.
have to step up. Oh, okay. Be sure you're talking the microphone so the audience can hear. Thank you.
I'm Bailey Mahan, and this is Emily Runyon, Auburn Osborne, Hannah Eichman, Nicole Peach, and Connor Russell.
Well, we appreciate any comments before we. Well, let's give them a round of applause. Are you ready to go down? Do you have a comment before we go down? Yes.
Well, sure.
I do.
I certainly want to wish you good luck. Thank you for being such a great representative of our city, and for everything that a well-rounded education stands for. So thank you very much. Go get them.
I'd like to add my congratulations to you as well and tell you how much we did enjoy the presentation that you did before council several months ago. We know that you're ready to go and win again, and we just wish you the best, and thank you for coming tonight.
Yeah, not a whole lot more to say except congratulations and good luck. Again, like Vice Mayor says, rock your world.
And I would love to hear just a report from you when you come back, if you could do that and have one of them come before us and kind of give us an idea, because I think a lot of people are maybe it's unknown to them, the accomplishments of these young people and what would take place at this gathering. So we would appreciate that. All right, council, picture time. Let's go down there, okay? Okay, come right up here so that you can look out at the audience. They've been looking at your backs. I want them to see what a good-looking group this is, okay? Now, come on, leaders, you have to come up here. All right, how do you want us? Because you're not going to get this. Is there anybody else that can? Yeah, everybody's in this. Can they get us all in?
Yeah, we're all in there. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, good one, guys.
Take another one, just 6 seconds.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
I think you got one.
I'm struggling here.
Now is the time for citizens who would like to address the city council on any non-agenda item. Do we have any cards?
No.
Thank you. Are there any, I guess we got through that. Okay, if there are no speaker cards, then we'll go on to the consent agenda. We do not have any consent agenda tonight, so we'll go on to the business agenda. So on the first item is on business is consider the appointment, oh, this is so great, of the members to the Goodyear 2025 General Plan Committee. So you're up there. Go ahead, Katie.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I have to say, I feel very privileged to be before you to introduce the Goodyear 2025 General Plan Committee and to also be the staff member who gets to work with this group of community members. First, I just want to tell you a little bit about our road here. We advertised in July and August for General Plan Committee recruitment. We did several notices in the West Valley View and Arizona Republic. We did lots of email blasts to the Southwest Valley Chamber, to our Development Advisory Forum, all of our HOA contacts, and many other email lists to try and get people interested. We received a very good response. There were over 60 applicants, and then the Council Subcommittee for Appointments had the hard task of looking through these and trying to pull out just 25 members to appoint to the committee. However, they chose a very diverse group of people representing 10 different neighborhoods in the city of Goodyear. And there are members of the development community, we have small business owners, and many representatives of the various organizations and interests throughout the city of Goodyear. I am really excited about this group. The 2003 General Plan Committee did an amazing job with the current general plan that we have now. And they focused a lot on our land use plan. So you might notice that this year's committee is very resident focused, and that's because we can build so much off of that great work that the 2003 plan included, that we could include such a resident-led or group of people. But I do just want to mention here that these meetings are always open to the public, so the entire public is welcome to attend. We're also hoping to get these meetings recorded, and they'll be online just like the city council meetings are, so that even if you can't attend the meetings, you could watch them and see what happened. The meetings are the second Tuesday of each month. We're starting on October 9th, and they're going to be going for 18 months. And so these committee members signed up for quite a big task. I also just want to say that we are going to be reaching out to the community in various ways. We're going to be holding lots of community meetings. We're going to be reaching out to the development community through our development advisory forum and other ways. We're going to be going to our small businesses through either the small business roundtable or creating focus groups to get them involved. And we're also going to be looking to these general plan committee members for even more ideas on how we can get out to the different community groups to get more input on the creation of this general plan. And I also just have to say on a side note that during this application process, we held a meet and greet where each member of the committee had to say what their goal was or vision for the city of Goodyear. And I was just sitting there getting so excited to get started on this general plan because everybody had such amazing things to say. Everyone had something a little different to say, so I really think it shows just how many different voices we're going to have at this table and just what a great plan we're going to create. And I'm just so excited to get started next Tuesday at our first meeting, and I hope to see everyone from the public there. So just a little order of business. When the motion is read, every committee member's name is going to be read out loud. So I would ask that the committee members, when your name is read, to come up here and stand here, and then the city clerk will administer your oath. So that concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to take any questions.
We'll do that in a moment. First, are there any speaker cards?
No.
All right, no speaker cards. So anybody from, I guess there's nobody in this audience who would like to come forth and speak. I just want to make sure. Okay. Then I'm going to ask Joanne to please make the motion and to read the 24 names, and the people are to come up. And when you come up this time, sort of face the audience. I think that way the television, the video viewers will see the front of you and a better impression. So go ahead, Joanne. Would you read the names? Take the motion.
Yes, Mayor. I would like to move to approve the appointment of members to the Goodyear 2025 General Plan Committee. And I would like, first of all, Charles Watson as our chair to come up, Vice Chair Brandon Creek, and I apologize ahead of time if I butcher your name, Christina Barnes, Estelle Beswick, Eduardo Borquez, Jose Kuzme, Ben Eli, Peter Fine, Brannon Hampton, Phyllis Hartwick, Jeffrey Classy, Sherry Lee, Deron Lozano, Kathleen Maloney, Dave Marucci, Ryan Nunez, Mark Pelletier, George Quiniff, Deborah Robinson, Jessica Rosenberg, Todd Tupper, Tony Wadowski, Gerald Wilson, Robert Yorty, and the four, do I do the appointments of the
No, we're going
the
to do
alternates?
that.
Just the-
Yeah, we're going to do that separately. So alternates will not.
Okay.
You want them to come up at
They
this?
can come up.
Okay,
Just
now
need
it's
to do
the
two
alternate, but
motions.
they won't be
Okay.
sworn. The motion is separate from that.
Yes.
Okay. So go ahead. Bring them up.
Yeah.
So, okay. Go ahead.
Okay, and also to appoint the following three individuals for alternate members: Ted Ingalls, Stephen Kirk, and David Wilson.
I second the motion.
Okay, and all in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. We didn't have any discussion because I assumed it was a done deal here. Is that? But I'm sorry, I should have brought up Joe.
Just want to make a comment, and I know I got the backs to some of them, and that's okay, but I want to thank everybody for stepping up. Really appreciate it. I think we've got some of the best citizens anywhere in the valley, and it's proven by you all stepping up and doing this. So truly, really appreciate you doing that. Thank you all.
Bill and
Yes,
I
Councilman
both. You wanna be first?
Stipp?
Me? May I go first, Mayor?
Oh, sure.
Thank you. I was part of the appointment committee that interviewed all of the candidates, and everyone had something so special to offer. But we want to thank those of you that said yes. We know it's going to be quite a job ahead of you. We know you're taking it very serious because this is the future for Goodyear. But we do thank you. We love your enthusiasm. We love your ideas. And we just thank you for stepping up and doing what you're doing.
Councilman Stipp?
Mayor, I don't. We haven't talked a great deal about the diversity that this committee represents from throughout our community. I didn't think it would be possible, but with the help of Katie and a lot of the staff work that went behind, we almost have a statistical accurate representation as well, not only from where people live, but age diversity, gender diversity, ethnic diversity. It's really amazing to have it and have everybody with such a high quality and such enthusiasm. So work well together, and that it sounds like a tall task, but I think if everyone remembers what they're there for, this will be a great opportunity. I wish I could be there for your first kickoff meeting. I will be out of the country, but good luck, and I will see you at a future meeting, but thanks.
Well, I just want to thank you now ahead of time for all the hours you're going to put in, because as you well know, and I think they've already described to you what your charge is, it's a big one. But this is what I like about living in Goodyear, because people volunteer and come to the table all the time. They're always ready to make the sacrifice when necessary. But in this case, you're going to actually create your city now, because you're creating the areas the residential areas and the parks and all those. So again, I really thank you. Now, I'd like a picture taken while this whole group, and if you can all kind of gather up there.
Can I say something?
Yes. Wait a minute. Decorum. Do I need to go on to the next motion first?
Just make sure that we do the motion on the alternates.
Okay, so do you want to, and you're going to swear the alternates at the same time you
Yes.
swear? All right, so if you'll just stay right where you are, and we'll go on with our business. So, Joanne, I'm asking you for a motion to
No, Joanne wants to talk.
You're going to have to wait.
Joanne has rest for lecture to give on sustainability.
Yes. And I'm going to let you speak right after this one, but if I don't get on with this, I'd like you to make a motion naming the three names of your alternates, please.
Okay, I'd also like to move to approve the appointment of the alternate members to the Goodyear 2025 General Plan Committee: Ted Ingles, Stephen Kirk, David Wilson.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All right, we heard a motion by Vice Mayor Osborne, a second by Councilman Pizzillo. Now, I'll do it right this time. I'll open it for discussion, and Vice Mayor Osborne.
Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you very much. I was a teenager 10 years ago when the general plan, I'm kidding, but actually I was on planning and zoning during the last general plan, and there was a definite different group of people and parties there, and so I'm thrilled that this is going to be run by our residents, and also that we have the focus groups with our businesses, and also the Development Advisory Forum, so really everyone's going to have a voice. But back to sustainability. You guys are forging our futures, and you guys are making comments that are really generationally driven. And so think about that. As you think about what we are today, think about what are we 2 generations from now. Think of Goodyear that way also. So sometimes it's that visioning that you go, oh, I just can't do that. But really you can. And so be excited about that. And I look forward to, after your 18 months, of what you're going to present to us. So that's very exciting. Thank you.
With that, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. I think it should be a picture, if anybody can do that, so just turn around and gather forth. We're just going to let you be in the picture, and we're going to stay out of this.
This is your first team building. Get close.
Sounds like an excuse.
And what year did we buy that camera? Great. Now, if you'll stay in place, we're going to Maureen's going to give you the oath.
All of you to raise your right hand, please, and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and defend them against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of General Plan Committee member according to the best of my ability. So I do affirm. Congratulations.
All right, let's give him a round of applause.
May I add just a point of business? For all the committee members, there's a paper copy of the oath that we need you to sign. So I'm going to stand outside in the hallway and collect those from you as you exit.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, here we go.
That's awesome.
All right, we'll go to item B on the business. We will now consider amending the Palm Valley Phase 5 Planned Area Development PAD, conditionally rezoning approximately 5 acres. Brett Birmingham will present. Brett?
Thank you, Mayor Lord, members of the council, and members of the public. Tonight we're talking about the Pathways Assisted Living and Memory Care PAD amendment. The subject property is located near the northeast corner of Indian School Road and Pebble Creek Parkway. I've placed an aerial photo exhibit up here. This 5-acre parcel is zoned PAD General Commercial and is located within a larger 16-acre parcel. Existing land uses surrounding the subject property, as you can see to the north, is the Palm Valley Villas townhome development, and you can see it's partially developed. Let me see if I can get this light to. Is that better?
That's better with a little darker.
So you can see the development to the north, the Palm Valley Villas development is about halfway completed. To the south, we have Indian School Road and Pebble Creek single-family residential development. To the east is the Palm Valley Phase 5 single-family residential development. And to the west is Pebble Creek Parkway and the Pasern Paseo Apartments. And you'll also see on there a note for CVS. CVS received site plan approval for a new building at the immediate corner of Indian School and Pebble Creek Parkway in 2009. However, the development has not started yet on the CVS parcel. Okay, moving on to the landscaping plan exhibit. So a PAD amendment is being requested this evening. Number one, to allow the proposed assisted living center as a permitted use on this subject property. Number two, to adopt development standards for this facility. And three, to reduce the parking standards to accommodate this type of development. I'll come back to that landscape exhibit in just a few minutes. So the Pathways Assisted Living and Memory Care neighborhood is proposed to contain 9 single-story homes. There's one office in one of those homes. The units are approximately 17.5 feet tall, and this development would accommodate a maximum of 90 residents. So essentially each building would contain 10 rooms. Each of these buildings would look the same, and so here is this sample of the elevation exhibit. Back to the landscape exhibit. As you can see, the development plan shows a building setback of approximately 60 feet adjacent to the residential development to the east. And that includes a 20-foot landscape buffer so that it can accommodate offset rows of trees. To the north, there's a 42-foot building setback adjacent to the Palm Valley Villas townhome development. And there's also a landscape buffer with offset rows of trees to the north as well. The applicant has reported that they've developed several other similar assisted living, memory care neighborhoods with reduced parking. And according to the applicant, none of the residents are able to operate a motor vehicle, and so parking is only needed for employees and visitors. According to the parking study provided by the applicant, the proposed use will not create any increase in on-site traffic over any commercial uses that are already permitted on this subject property. And I wanted to speak for a few moments on the public process. We sent a copy of the proposed use and site plan to Luke Air Force Base for review and comment, and no comments were received from Luke Air Force Base. Staff asked the applicant to contact the Palm Valley Phase 5 Property Association and also the Pebble Creek Property Association. And the applicant did that. The applicant provided copies of the development plans and the narrative to those HOA groups. However, no questions or comments were received from any of the local HOAs. We sent notices out to all the neighbors and property owners. And we had a citizen review meeting on this topic on August 7th. And 4 adjacent property owners did attend that meeting. The residents in attendance were generally supportive of this rezone request. The Planning Commission conducted a public hearing on August 15th on this item, and no one from the public appeared to speak in favor or against this application, and the Planning Commission recommended approval of this application with a vote of 6-0. So in conclusion, staff supports the proposed P80 amendment and recommends that the application be approved subject to the stipulations that are outlined in the ordinance. So this concludes the presentation by staff. Staff is available to answer any questions that you might have. We also have Mr. Jay Valenzuela, the applicant, and Mr. Ed Wohl as well to answer any questions that you might have.
Well, are there any other speaker cards except the applicants maybe? No. So would anybody like to speak on behalf of this?
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. Speaking for Jay and myself, if your council's happy, we're happy, and I'll sit down. If you want a presentation, we'll give it. But we're happy with the recommendations that's before you.
Well, you're available if they have any questions, so thank you.
Yes.
I would like to ask the city clerks to read the ordinance 12-1268 by title only, please.
Adopt ordinance number 12-1268, amending the Palm Valley Phase 5 Planned Area Development Pad zoning as conditionally approved by ordinance number 2003-858, as conditionally amended by ordinance number 2004-923, conditionally rezoning approximately 5 acres generally located at the northeast corner of Pebble Creek Parkway and Indian School Road to allow as a permitted use in an assisted living center consisting of an assisted living memory care retirement facility with up to 90 beds to modify certain of the C2 development standards and parking standards applicable to the development of an assisted living center consisting of an assisted living memory care retirement facility on subject property, adopting supplementary zoning map number 12-02A, providing for severability and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Could I hear a motion, please, and a second?
So moved.
Second.
I hear a motion by Councilman Stiff and a second by Councilman Pizzillo. Open for council discussions. Councilman Campbell?
Yes, I have 2 questions, please, of the applicant. I'd like to know what other facilities you have built that are similar to this in our area or in the Phoenix area. Please.
Hi, my name's Jay Valenzuela. I'm the developer and the applicant here. We don't have any facilities here in the Phoenix area. What we have are one facility of 90 beds in Tucson, and we're currently expanding that by another 30 beds. And our operations partner has 8 or 9 facilities across the United States that operate a very similar model, the 10 residents per unit or per home. It's a very specific model called the home model, and they're all single level, so it's a real similar situation to what we're developing here.
All right, so this will be your first home here. This will be your first development in the Phoenix area, so we don't have one to compare to. My next question is, will any part of this be a lockdown unit?
The memory care portion is very secured for resident safety. There are specific building implements like bracelets that automatically lock doors. There are security systems, door chimes. The whole facility is encircled by a locking gate. But for the assisted living portion of it, those things still exist for resident safety. The perimeter gate, things like that, but the security is not quite as stringent in terms of wearing a bracelet that would lock the doors. So the assisted living is much less stringent. The memory care is very stringent.
So if someone could come into your assisted living facility and as time progresses could move to another part of your unit
absolutely.
As needed, and it'll be fully staffed.
Yeah,
and a total is 90 residents is the total of the whole complex?
90 beds is the total. Today, the way we see it is probably 50-40 favoring the memory care. That seems to be the fastest growing segment of that population. Could be as much as 60-30.
Okay.
What we've done with the design is made it so that we could retrofit or fit each of these buildings to be memory care or assisted living with very little effort.
Okay. Thank you.
May I interject right here, because the way we're talking about this sounds like, locked up, no.
Oh, no.
No, I know. You weren't referring to that. I'm just saying the dialogue coming back to us. I didn't mean to suggest that at all, Councilman. But for the public, when I first heard this presentation, it was such a relief to know that finally we were going to get something like this in our area. And now you tell me if I'm wrong, but each of these individual homes will house 10 people, and they will have staff in there. They'll have a kitchen in there. They'll have activities, and each home will have an activity. So one will be the library, and you just tell me if I'm wrong, I'm remembering this, and the next home will be the exercise room, and then the next home will have something else. So that means during the day that these residents can move from building to building, even though they have limited memories, and take part in activities. The other thing they found out about Alzheimer victims, and I know that we have not used that word, and we're using a very cushioned word for it, but let's face it, we all are aware of that, that they furnish the residents with activities that they're used to, that they like. So if they like to watch television at 11 o'clock at night, they get to watch television. Or if they get up in the middle of the night and they have a cup of milk, or they want a cup of coffee, and they found out with these patients that they do so much better when they're able to use some of the memory, the comfort that they recognize. I was thrilled when you finished with that presentation. And Councilman Gelser was too, and I know when I tell him that you came forth tonight, he's going to be so pleased, because he was worried that you weren't coming to our community and building this facility, because I believe he sat in the same one I did. It really is advancement, and so in my view, and I don't normally as a mayor go ahead of the council, but I just wanted to get that out to people. So other comments?
Can I apologize then?
No,
I need to apologize to you because I didn't know of this presentation, and I thought this was strictly a Alzheimer's home, a memory care home, and I just was making sure that we had provided for that security if it need be, and you would not have to come back before council. So I apologize because I wasn't at that briefing.
No, Councilman Campbell, you don't need to apologize. You didn't know the information, and I saw that we didn't present it as the information as that I was presented. And so I just wanted the public to know this is a positive. There's no negative about this at all. And that the neighbors don't have to be worried. The security is there. But also within those walls, there's freedom. And you're going to see happier people. And you're going to see the dependence of those people when they come to visit their relatives. They're going to have smiles on their face, too, because then they're all going to be taken care of well. So did anybody else, since I blabbed all this out to everybody, anybody else have any comments?
I just, Mayor, I would just like to say thank you. I do believe that this is a needed facility for Goodyear. And recently I was at a conference about aging in place. And so this allows all of us that transition in our lives. And so I appreciate that. And actually, Councilwoman Campbell had kind of already asked you the questions that I was concerned about, and that was security. Looking at the map there, you're close to Indian School and Pebble Creek, and so just was concerned of residents, getting hurt. And so I appreciate that. Thank you.
And finally, it's a great transition for Pebble Creek. It's right next door. And there are many dependents who will be able to stay in their homes in Pebble Creek and still visit their mates in there. So I'm very, very pleased. So thank you very much. All right. No other questions? Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Pizzillo?
Aye.
Councilmember Campbell?
Aye.
Councilmember Stipp?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Osborne?
Aye.
Mayor Lord?
Aye.
Passes 5-0.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're going on to, just a moment here, make sure to item 124897. We will now consider approving the employment agreement with Brian Dalkey, and Rorik Massey will present. Rorik?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the council. The item you have in front of you this evening is to approve an employment agreement with Brian Dalkey to appoint him as the city's permanent city manager. The employment agreement term is 15 months. That's the maximum term that you can grant at this point, given the city charter. The agreement has been posted online, so it is available for the public to review and see the various terms and conditions that are contained in the document. But basically outlines Brian's duties, the compensation package, and importantly, it lists the 14 goals and objectives that council has established for the city manager in conjunction with this contract. At this point, I'm available to answer any questions you may have about the agreement, and Mr. Dalkey is certainly available to answer any questions you may have as well.
Great. Are there any speaker cards? No. All right. So I'd like and anybody in this audience, I guess nobody wants to speak, okay? I know you don't have any cards, but sometimes they don't fill out a card and they raise their hand, so we'll look it over. Okay, could I have a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Stipp and second by Vice Mayor Osborne. Open for council discussion. Well, I'm going to speak.
Joe.
Joe? Go ahead, Joe.
I think sometimes when we get to this point, I think it's kind of nice to look to see how we actually got here. First of all, you see this and it looks kind of smooth, but obviously there was a lot of detail that went into this particular agreement. But first of all, this is kind of like a team effort. And if you look back to where we were 4 years ago, I'd still like to tip the hat to everybody on the staff. Because without those employees, without our citizens who have stepped out through the actual volunteers, which we've gone from like 6,000 to 25,000, we wouldn't have gone through this greatest recession that we've had in the last 3 to 4 years. There's quite a few goals and objectives. We were able to have a trial run with Brian for the 6 months. There's been a lot of changes. We're moving in the right direction, according to, in my opinion. And one of the things I don't think was covered as well is one of the things I'm really particular about that I'm concerned with, or that I know you'll carry through, is the goals of our latest development services director. I know it was in the newspaper, and she's just on board, Sherry, right? But what was not noted is that was actually, we have streamlined the business development process. We went from 2 directors down to 1 director, which really didn't get a whole lot of coverage in there. And we've got building inspections, we've got the actual economic development, we've got the building reviews, all under 1 department to try to streamline to make us more conducive to an environment for business growth. So there's a lot of things that we're bringing down. Our employees per thousand are dropping to try to make this more efficient, more cost effective to deliver a better service of government. So with that, Brian, I appreciate what you've done over the last 6 months, and really looking forward to moving forward with our business development services to make sure that that process becomes successful, as well as continue looking at our service delivery models to try to find more cost-effective and efficient ways of bringing service to our citizens. Thank you.
I would like to say that.
Vice Mayor Osborne.
Well, Mr. Dahlke, I would also like to thank you for the last 6 months of hard work. And I know it hasn't been easy, and there's been a lot of change. And I do also echo Councilmember Pizzillo's comments that we are headed in the right direction, and I think we are doing great things. But you're also someone that has truly grown up with the city, and you have come up in the ranks, as they say. You have really done your due diligence for Goodyear, and I'm proud that you'll be our city manager, and I thank you ahead of time for the years of hard work that lies ahead of you too. Thank you very much.
Yes, Councilman Stipp.
I'd like to echo what Councilman Pizzillo talked about with the amount of time that was spent really, quote unquote, behind the scenes getting this done. A number of emails and conversations that everybody has had with the city attorney. For those of you that missed the 5-hour executive the e-session that we had last week, a lot of work went into that to get us to this point. I think the real key for all of this has been the staff and the team that Brian has built. And, I appreciate Joe wishing to go back 3 or 4 years, but I'm only going to go back 6 or 7 months and say this is a completely different staff. It's a completely different city hall because of Brian's leadership there and the team that he's built. So expectations are high for everybody, not just Brian, but for Sherry and Jeff and the communications staff and public works folks that are coming in. The bar's pretty high, so support Brian and help us move forward as we attack this new opportunity with the emerging economy as we get into 2013. Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
Any other
Yes,
Councilman
thank
Campbell?
you. Well, this is a new day for Goodyear, and we're excited that Mr. Dahlke has agreed to be our city manager, and we're expecting great things from him and his team as he gets them in place. We're all going to work together, Brian, to make it successful. We wish you the best, and we just want you to know that we're here, and if we can help, let us know. Thank you.
Well, I'm very pleased. I can't thank you enough for all the work and creativity in developing this new plan. And it's always difficult being the interim, right? And under the circumstances coming on so quickly. But you've done a great job. I see a difference in the city hall when I walk the halls. You rejuvenated staff. And it's just exactly what we needed for the direction we're going in. And I think it'll really be good when we all have our retreat and discuss exactly where we want to go, how we want to do it, and when we want to do it. And you'll be a big part of that. So it's a tough job being a city manager. And as we read in the papers all the time, they're here today and gone tomorrow. So it's a tough job, and so you are taking on a lot.
We have higher expectations, though.
That's right. I just put it out like And I put that out because it's so true. This is not an easy position. And I know when people write complaints in and talk about our government and talk about, they have no idea what a day is like for a city manager. You don't have enough fingers and hands and toes for all the things that come at you during a day. So I want you to know you're greatly appreciated. And I really do look forward to tomorrow and the tomorrows after that. So again, thank you. So with that, we're going to ask all in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose? The ayes have it. So that ends our meeting except for informational. So council, I'm going to turn it over. Any? Yes, Vice Mayor?
I just wanted to thank staff for truly being helpful to me and giving great presentations and organization for our building blocks for better education in Goodyear. And we had a very nicely attended little morning session with all of our principals and our superintendents, and we included the charter schools and the private schools this time, and I think that it was very successful. It's really kind of funny when you have a superintendent that is sitting between two charter schools, and them having that opportunity to talk about things, and we had other principals that had never met each other that were in the same city, and the cool thing is we all have the same goal, that we want the best futures and success for our children going forward. And I just really wanted to thank all the staff and the presenters that we had there. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Joanne, and it was very successful, and I think all of us were astounded how many showed up this time. I mean, the room was packed, and that says a lot for all the work you've been doing. Thank you. I attended a lot of things, but I'm only going to mention a couple of them because of the fun things. The Millennium Homecoming Parade. I finally got to ride in the old fire truck. I've been waiting to do that since I got elected in 2005, so that was a real thrill. And seeing a football game, I hadn't attended that. The one thing I do want to mention is Hope's Closet opening on Litchfield Park. The building looks great. One of the advantages is that you can drop off your donations behind the building. So if you notice the last location they had a lack of space, and so the parking lot didn't always look well. They've really marketed it well. So I encourage everybody to go through your closets, see what you don't need, take it and donate it, because it goes to just a fantastic cause. So, okay, not interim anymore. Nane, city manager, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the council. First of all, I do appreciate the vote of confidence very much. And I know the word team was used earlier, and it absolutely is a team not only with the council but with our employees. We have a lot of talent in this audience. We have a lot of talent that's amongst our employees. So truly, I know everyone, their efforts are going to be focusing on customer service with each other, with the council, and also with most importantly, our public. So we look forward to it. A lot of good ideas out there, and we have a great team that's been assembled. So thank you. I do have a couple of announcements. One is I wanted to introduce Mark Holmes, Water Resource Manager. And this was one where this was one of the realignments with Public Works, where in lieu of a director level, we actually brought in at a manager level an area that was of critical importance to the city, and that is in water. A little bit about Mark's background. He'll have an opportunity to come up here in a second, and I think he had about a 2-hour speech, but I'm not sure. But Mark has 12 years of experience as senior level executive working in water policy strategy. And Arizona is very difficult as it relates to water law. There are just so many factors to be considered. So water policy strategy, development, and implementation to public sector entities throughout this state. His background, he actually was the water resource advisor, City of Mesa, since 2010. Where he provided high-level policy advisement to the Water Resource Department, city manager, the elected officials, while serving as a city's liaison for many water-related groups. He was the director for Town of Chino Valley over water resources from 2005 to 2010. He was a hydrologist from 2000 to 2005 for Arizona Department of Water Resources, where he was manager of Water Quality Assurance Revolving Fund. He managed statewide well inventories pertaining to Superfund, Department of Defense, and other water quality sites. He's also 7 years full-time active duty in the United States Air Force from 86 to 93. I see a thumbs up from the mayor. Something about the Air Force there. He has a bachelor's in water resources from University of Wisconsin in 97, a master's in water resources from University of Minnesota in 99. So Mark, as I stated earlier, he'll be working on development of policies. It'll come forward to council for consideration. Implementation, and most importantly for not only our short-term water needs, but our longer-term water needs, working with our development community, looking at how we can bring water to the table, and also our conservation management plans. The one thing I would offer up too, water is will be coming to council periodically with different updates, different work sessions. But I'd also extend an opportunity, if you'd like to visit with Mark, we'd like to set that up so you have an opportunity to understand really what a little bit more about water, and you can do that individually. So if you are interested, just let me know.
Great.
We'd like to do that. But with that, I'll ask Mark if you'd like to say a couple of words.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the council. It's an honor and a privilege to be serving the citizens of Goodyear and to be serving on such a wonderful team, as the city manager has indicated. It's a fabulous team. And I kind of think of myself as like an inventor. I'm one of the few departments or offices that thinks out 100 years. Everything in Arizona is 100-year assured water supply, so one of the few organizations that really thinks out 100 years. So it's innovation that's looking at water supplies, the use of water supplies for efficiency, partnering with development and all those aspects to try and figure out how to more efficiently use water with what limited water we have in Arizona. And I look forward to the challenges, and I'm sure I'll be seeing you in the coming weeks very soon to talk about various water aspects. So again, thank you. It's a privilege to be here.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Comments from anybody? Yes. Councilman, stay right there. So
Just real quick comment. As a member representing the city on AMWA, Arizona Municipal Users Association, I got a chance writing down, and again, I rely very heavily on Mark for issues that we raise at our meetings. And when we were writing down with Matt the other day to the meeting, got a 50-plus year history on the organization when you started with 1950, bringing Matt up to speed. I was impressed with the knowledge that he has with water issues. And again, water is a lifeblood of any organization. Very critical to the position. I'm glad you're on board. Was impressed with the knowledge that was in your brain when we were writing down there. So again, welcome on board.
Thank you very much.
Any other comments? Well, welcome. You're now part of the family.
Thank you very much.
Mayor and Council, I had one other item that I would like to bring to your attention as well. Found out today, and I was actually in Houston, got back late afternoon, but really a nice surprise. Goodyear Ballpark was voted by the Phoenix New Times 2012 as the best place to see a spring training game. So how about that?
Where's Nathan?
Nathan was there. Oh, he's still back there.
He is.
And I'll say a couple of items just on that. That was obviously in the Best of Phoenix. It's the second time we've earned this designation in the past 3 years. We received it in 2010. So that is absolutely great. That means that the staff is doing a terrific job taking care of the facility, providing customer service, all the things that go with making that spring training experience so great. The award is based on votes from citizens, which really makes it even that much more meaningful. It's a competitive environment. There are 10 different spring training campuses throughout the Metro Phoenix area, and we like to say that we provide an experience like no other, and we believe that we do. So again, a lot of pride with the staff. They've set up a lot of best practices, and we have a lot of folks that come here and look at what we do so they can emulate some of the terrific aspects of the programs, the service levels. So with that, we're very excited, and that's all I have tonight.
Thank you. I gather there's no staff summary or follow-up for staff for None, okay.
No.
Then no inquiries or anything, you're all set? Okay. Well, the future meeting next will be October 15th, which will be a work session. So with that, I'll adjourn this meeting.